Good afternoon. It's very humid and hot in Dublin. We're not used to this kind of heat. How are you all doing? Today I'm going to focus on some nice oils. So it's actually just one of my favorite. I'm obsessed with it. I'm pretty sure if I could bathe in lavender oil, I would. Lavender is just smells pretty, makes you feel calm. Can't really bad it, you know. I think I put some on there. Lavender, you got this. So I actually have this beautiful bottle of lavender that my mum brought back from Italy. There's actually a lavender shop in Lake Garda, and it's all just fresh from Italy. Oh, and she got me bath salts and lavender soap and everything from this little shop, and it's all the lavender grown locally, so it's absolutely brilliant. But I use lavender for everything. I use it for my skin, for cuts, for bruises, for anything like that, redness in the skin. And when I was a beauty therapist, a lot of the stuff that we would use would be lavender, melaleuca, wild orange, lemon, but mostly it was lavender. Like after waxing, we'd use lavender to disinfect, but also to bring in the inflammation. And lavender can be used for so many different things spiritually as well. Obviously, there's natural ingredients in lavender that bring down the sort of negative stress hormones, basically your cortisol levels, and it brings it back to a normal level. Now, if you think about it like this, okay, say for instance your day is going like this, where your stress is going and it's going up and up and up all day. You get stuck there, basically. So have you ever seen somebody who has a problem calming down, where they're like, once they get up there, it's like they're not coming down. It's like they have the inability to control their cortisol levels. It could take a day, it could take 3 days for you to come down out of fear, anger, whatever heightened emotion that you have that has kind of brought you up to that state. So what lavender does is it just goes, ooh. So when you put essential oils on your skin, say for instance on your feet, you've got the biggest pore in your feet, so it will be, the oils will penetrate every cell in your body within 8 minutes on your feet and hands, and 12 minutes on your head. So like if you're putting oils in the back of your neck or anything like that, or on your face, it's going to go in 12 minutes. Hands and feet, biggest pores again. And it's probably why your feet sweat so much. So putting lavender on your feet 10 minutes before bed, oh my God, you have lavender sleep. And lavender sleep is just so different. Now, there is another oil by doTERRA called Serenity, and it actually uses a different part of the plant. It uses lavandin, which is a different part of the lavender plant, but the sleep you get with Serenity is like amazing. It's called Serenity Sleep, and it literally does what it says on the tin. You wake up and you are like, oh my God, I slept so well, and you're just like a little baby wrapped up in a blanket. It's the most beautiful sleep. But lavender has so many different uses. It's antiviral, it's antifungal, it's antibacterial. I think one of the greatest stories I have is on my hand right here, all here, I had actually a 3rd-degree burn. A frying pan that I was using went on fire, and I went to pick it up and lift it and run to the back garden with it. Obviously, my first instinct was throw it on the grass, but I didn't think about the fire coming back onto my hand and burning my hand. Yeah, I was young. Anyway, I went to the doctor, and the doctor gave me special cream, and the cream infected it. Basically, it got worse. It turned green. It was horrible. It was so horrible. I was like, I'm scarred for life. My hand is never going to be the same again. So I just said, okay, I'm going to have to take a risk and just go off onto all my natural stuff. And normally I do like to go to the doctor first and try out whatever medications they give me first. But this was like, okay, this is not working. So I tried aloe vera and lavender for 3 days. It still weeped a little bit, like it still was like not really healing. And on the 3rd day, the wound had kind of become solid. And within a week, it was white skin. It was new skin regrowing. All the scab already come off. Everything had been disinfected. Everything was clear out. And I used the Forever Living aloe vera and Dead Towers lavender oil. And I have not one scar on my hand afterwards. And it was about this big. It was this whole area here. And it looked like every layer of my skin had been burnt underneath it. And it was the most horrific looking burn. And I can't say enough about what lavender does, healing physically, but healing emotionally as well. Because healing emotionally with lavender is like stress. Oh my God, stress. Some people think that the crown chakra is purple. Lavender is also purple. I always think that synchronicities between the colors and what chakras they tend to go with is ironic. Lavender is very much a crown chakra energy, but it's also a root chakra energy, so it's great for calming down those kind of natural times of the month where, you know, your root chakra wants to go crazy and your lavender comes in and just soothes it gently. It's a beautiful soothing energy. So I carry lavender with me everywhere I go. People think I'm crazy, but I can't live without my lavender. It's essentially the thing that gets me to be a more conscious human being and not to get into that angry state, if you know what I mean. And if I do, I put my lavender on, I have a few minutes to myself. And if I'm having stress, if I'm stuck in traffic, if I'm running late for work, I put lavender on me because it's not going to make my day better by being stressed. In fact, it's going to make it worse, especially if you're already running late. You're already going to be stressed. Your blood pressure is going to be up. It's not good for you to be stressed, you know? So lavender I always have in my bag, and it is just, you should always have a first aid kit. And I will do a first aid kit video someday of all the essential oils that I use for my everyday first aid reasons. I think one of the biggest things that happened for me was myself and my ex-partner, we were moving to another house. And when he first met me, he had a huge collection of antibiotics and the presses, things like Rennies and painkillers and all kinds of other things. And when we moved, we actually threw the whole bag in the bin, because not only had he realized after about a year that this stuff works, but this stuff works better, so much so that he was willing to throw all the stuff that we'd already bought in the bin. And of course, I was the same. You know, I prefer to use anything natural rather than painkillers because I have a dodgy stomach. So it's easier for me to use essential oils. And because of my sensitive skin, it's easier for me to use essential oils. So I just do. Lavender aids verbal expression. It calms the insecurities that are felt when one risks their true thoughts and feelings. Lavender addresses a deep fear of being seen and heard. Individuals in need of lavender hide within, blocking off forms of true self-expression. While they may even be going through the motions of outward expression, they're actually holding back their innermost thoughts and feelings. The expression is not connected to the heart or soul. Lavender supports individuals in releasing the tension and constricting the stems from fear of expressing one's self. Due to past experiences, they may believe it is not safe to express themselves. The true self is therefore trapped within and goes unexpressed. Strong feelings of being unlovable, unimportant, or unheard can accompany this condition. The individual's fear of rejection paralyzes their true voice and traps their feelings inside. Lavender encourages emotional honesty and insists that one speak their innermost thoughts and desires. As individuals learn to communicate their deepest thoughts and feelings, they are liberated from their self-inflicted prison. It is through open and honest communication that an individual experiences unconditional love and acceptance. Through Lavender's courageous spirit, one is free to share their true self with others. This is why lavender is literally, if there was a spirit animal connection with a plant, lavender would be my spirit plant, basically. Divine love is everything I meditate towards. Being a kinder and more compassionate person, lavender is that energy, and that's what I want to be in my life. That's I want to give, I want to help, and I want to calm and soothe. Lavender does that. Emotions expressed: blocked communication, fear of rejection, feeling unseen or unheard, constricted, tension, emotional dishonesty, hiding fear of self-disclosure. And then companion oils that would be similar would be lime and cassia. So I guess another thing I could say about lavender is that lavender is not just the oil of self-truth because it's, making you calmer. What the essentiality of our souls is calm, is love, is happiness, is joy. And for somebody to say, oh, well, look, lavender is going to make you happy, lavender is going to make you your true self, it's not going to give you an instructional idealism about how to understand who you are as a person. It's going to make you forget all those angry thoughts, the ego, the constructed mind that is not you, and the kind, loving, happy, joyful self is what's underneath. So lavender brings you back down to that center of yourself. So the oil of communication again, expressiveness. Energy comes out of your soul through your physical body every day. It communicates with people, comes through your face. You can't hide it, okay? Lavender helps you not hide it. And this isn't you becoming this horrible person and shouting at everyone and saying, oh, I decided to say what I really mean. It's not about that. It's about saying to someone, what you said the other day really hurt me. I just needed to tell you that. It's about saying things like, you really mean a lot to me. I know I don't say it a lot, but you do. And lavender opens that, not just the heart chakra, but the higher heart chakra, just right above it. Beautiful pink energy that is for loving everybody. And it's not just, hippie mentality. It's not just more mindful, but it's a smarter way of living. Being more compassionate towards people, because at the end of the day, if you're more compassionate towards people, you receive positive feedback. So why be negative? Because you're only going to receive negative feedback. It doesn't make logical sense to me, I find if you go down the path of the ego, of lying, misconception, or being cruel or anything like that, you're only going to receive back that karma, or you're physically going to receive back emotions or people saying nasty things to you. And I just see it as irrelevant. Why create yourself this response? This is what you're creating from people around you. Then this isn't you. Nobody wants to be unhappy. Not really down to their core. We create our unhappiness a lot of the time. We keep going to that job we don't like. We keep going to that person that treats us badly. We keep hanging around with that person we know who talks about us around the back. But lavender makes us remember. And it makes you go, when you go to these people, why am I here? Why am I going through this? I was going to apply for the job. I forgot. Now I remember. I remember me. And that's what's important about lavender. And that's why I love lavender. So our mudra for today is beautiful. You can actually see me calming down just by having lavender on me. I had a stressful day today. I had the 2 nephews over, and it was like 2 little mini tornadoes running around the house. And my parents were here with me, and it was, I love them. They're so beautiful, but they are crazy. And lavender has really helped me de-stress. One of them keeps getting up on the slide and trying to slide down the slide head first. And of course, everyone just kind of dives to catch him. And your stress can be high around toddlers because they're always like, oh, I think this will be fun. It's like, no, don't try to jump, throw over or pull down the wheelie bin on top of yourself, or, one of them wants to pull the TV down on himself or something like that. And you're just like, no, and you're constantly in that mode of, oh, please don't do that. Don't just jump out the back door where there's a step. There is a step, remember. So lavender is really helping you to chill out today. So the meaning of the Sanskrit word Prithvi, now I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right. Prithvi Mudra signifies earth. This mudra increases the Prithvi or earth element within the body. It can also be called the Agni Shamak Mudra. This mudra increases the vitamin consumption in your body. It's helpful for anyone who has immune deficiencies. Again, a lot of people recommend yoga to people who have immune deficiencies because it really helps. And using your mudras is only assisting in the flow of energies or blood flow to certain areas of your body. Helps to reduce hair loss. Reduces diabetes. Helps heal ulcers. Increases concentration of mind. Removes cold and fat. Treats fever and jaundice and makes the skin glow. Now, first of all, the fever. I've actually had a few people actually use lavender on people's forehead, especially kids' foreheads, because it's something nice and soothing to use. Put a bit of a few drops of lavender onto your forehead with a wet towel. And again, the similarities between this mudra and lavender is brilliant because, if you're having a fever, you could use this mudra and put a bit of lavender oil on a tea towel with some cold water, and that might help reduce your fever. Helps to heal ulcers. Reduces diabetes. Again, this is a great one. It also helps with cold and cough and mouth and brain. And apparently people with Kapha dominant body should not perform this mudra, which is ironic because I'm a Kapha body mudra, or a Kapha body, yes. So I'm going to try the Prithvi Mudra. So how we do this is basically hands up, and we bend the ring finger, and we put the tip of the ring finger against the thumb. So hands up, ring finger down, and just tip. So ring finger, the one right next to your little finger, tip of your thumb, and like this. So if you want to sit on a yoga mat or a chair, apply pressure to the tips, make sure you're doing that, and keep the remaining fingers straight. Now, and when you're doing this, concentrate on breathing as well. So I'm actually going to do a video on this. I'm not sure. You know what? I'm going to teach you now. So I think one of my favorite things about doing the mudras is not just doing the mudras, but the breathing exercises. So pranayama breathing is something that I love doing during my yoga meditation or just during my normal meditation. Pranayama breathing is something that resets your breathing styles. So say, for instance, I'm coming home from the gym and I'm still kind of, I'm getting short breaths. The breath is probably going in and out and in and out, and it's not getting fully down to my lungs. And I think the biggest fear with pranayama breathing with people is that they take a deep breath and they go, and they panic and they go, I have to breathe out, I have to breathe out. And at the end of the day, you already have oxygen there. So you're not gonna like just fall over, And when you're asleep, if you ever watch people sleeping, they're breathing like this. And that's it. And it's like, and you almost watch a child breathe and go, why is it taking so long? Oh my God, they didn't breathe out properly. And you freak out when you actually watch people sleep and how they're breathing. And the funny thing is that that's the normal state we should be breathing. So say, for instance, if you're breathing on a daily basis, if you're distracted, you're going to be breathing normally. If you're concentrating on your breathing, you're going to start breathing faster. and shallower, and you're not going to be breathing properly. And you have to remember, you have to be breathing through your nose. Even if you're not concentrating on it every day, every minute of the day, if you concentrate on doing it 3 times a day, your breathing will naturally start syncing up with the melody that you tune it to. So like, say for instance, every day, if you walk in and out of a room and you turn off a light switch, and you make a thing where you go in and out of that room, and every time you go in and out of the room, you turn it on, you turn it off, you turn it on, and turn it off. And sometimes you might walk into a room that doesn't have that light switch, and you'll go and slap the wall going, oh, where's the light switch? This is how we attune our minds to things. So we can actually, we can go into like, a state of consciousness, meditate, and do this breathing. And that is assisting our breathing. Oxygen is getting up to our brain. It's, it's increasing cognitive thought processes. It's reducing their blood pressure. It's doing all these beautiful, profound things. But essentially, that's great if you're going to go out and have a stressful day. Learning to have your breathing exercises during those moments where you're like in the car and you're going, wow, work is really stressful today. Take a minute and wait. And just let your body do the breathing out. Okay? So that's the hard part. Let your body do the breathing out. So now there's different styles of breathing that you can practice. There's heliotropic breathing, where you're kind of breathing in a kind of a circle where you're breathing faster to create that hallucinogenic state. We're not trying to do that. What we're trying to do is we're trying to get more oxygen into the body. It's good for you. Pull it into the body, and then let it release in its own time. And your rhythm is like, if you're breathing like this, your body is like this, and you're like, if you're breathing slowly, and then you're like this. Do you see what I mean? So the difference in your breathing really does make a difference in how you deal with things. So like when people get angry and they're like, oh, I have to count 10. So you go 1, and you don't just count to 10, you do your breathing to 10. And by the 10, you just hit there and you go, you know what, I don't care, I'm so calm right now. And you just go, And a lot of people think it's not a good idea to be calm when you're in these situations. One of the main reasons why is because they think, well, if you're not, being assertive, then you're going to seem disrespected. But the funny thing is that when you're calmer, your cognitive thought processes increase. So you actually think more logically. So you might actually think logically a better way to have this conversation. So do you know the way sometimes people get angry and they walk away and you can see them kind of having a rant to themselves, and they come back and they say, okay, I calm down, I have the solution. That's why they have the solution, because you're breathing in that oxygen, you're bringing oxygen to your brain, which it needs to be able to work, You see when people go into comas and they're not able to breathe anymore and they become brain dead, it's because your brain needs oxygen. It needs it. Your cells in your body need that oxygen. Okay? It needs to circulate things around the body. You need a lot of oxygen as well. So if you're not breathing properly, it can cause a severe amount of health issues. And it can cause a severe amount of anxiety and stress because you're not letting your breath flow naturally. So you have to go 10 times a day, 3 times a day. And that brings you to a better mentality. Now, they say that it takes 90 days to have something ingrained in your brain. So 90 days, try the 90-day challenge of doing your breathing exercises 3 times a day. You can almost do a video on it. See how that assists you in your life, and film yourself on your 90th day and just show how calm and peaceful you are. In fact, I might even do it myself. I might do a week. of doing my pranayama breathing several times a day. We'll see how calm I am by the end of the week. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you liked everything about lavender. I know I do. And the Prithvi Mudra, absolutely brilliant for so many different things. And to be honest, I know it says that you're not supposed to use it if you have kapha, but I think I'm still going to use it because it increases vitamin consumption and helps heal ulcers and removes fat. I can't see anything wrong with that. Have a good day. Namaste.